What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a great day. Please do me a favor, smash that like button for me, and if you get anything from this video, subscribe. So today we're going to talk about 12-year-old Sean Daltrey. Now, some of you may be familiar with this story, but I'm sure a lot of you aren't. This case is ridiculous. For all my people who love conspiracies, well, this is the perfect case for you because it checks absolutely every single box. This case is absolutely mind-blowing. If there was ever going to be a government conspiracy cover-up that a skeptic would buy into, it's absolutely 100% this case. Because, the details of this paint a very clear picture. And yet the police department who investigated the case, they have a completely different narrative. And their narrative makes absolutely no sense. And it's not just me saying that their narrative makes absolutely no sense, but the boys' parents believe that their narrative makes absolutely no sense. And speaking of the boys' parents, they're two very high-ranking Air Force officers. The mother just got a promotion to go to the Pentagon and work before this happened to her son. Now, I say happened to her son, but the police are trying to say that he did this to himself. What is that, you might ask? He had came home that day from school for his mom to tell him that she had to take his grandma to the doctor and that she would be back in around an hour. She wanted him to watch his 2-year-old baby brother, and he was very happy to do so. He loved babysitting his little brother. He loved his little brother. They had a really good relationship, and like we said, Sean's a happy-go-lucky kid, right? So his mother left and went to take his grandmother to the doctor's office. About 45 to 50 minutes later, Sean's sister showed up at the house and beat on the door, but nobody came to let her in. So she called her mom, and her mom told her that, well, maybe they're in the backyard playing or something. Maybe they're upstairs with the TV too loud. Just go around back and see if you can get in through the back door, see if they're in the backyard. So when his sister goes around to the backyard, she finds her 12-year-old baby brother hanging from the swing set. But he wasn't just hanging from the swing set. His glasses were broken on the ground a few feet away. He had an old motorcycle bag over his head. He had his arms pinned to his side with a belt. But the weirdest part of it all is that he was wearing his stepdad's clothes. Well, then, of course, the sister calls and tells his mother what she found, and her mom rushes home. When her mom gets home, she runs in the house to find her 2-year-old baby asleep under a pile of laundry. She woke the baby up, and the baby was lethargic and slow to wake up and barely moving around. She said he was acting very strange, not normal, not the way he usually does, right? Then she noticed that Sean had done his homework, took out the trash, and made himself a snack that he never ate. She also said that she had spoken to Sean on the phone a few minutes prior, so there's a very small amount of time for Sean to have decided that this is something he's going to do. Go upstairs, ransack his stepfather's drawers, change into his stepfather's clothes, go out to the garage, get the motorcycle bags from the garage rather than getting rope or something from the boxes nearby that Sean knew held rope, and go outside and commence to hang himself in the way that he did. But something else that really doesn't add up with this case is the fact that Sean was barefoot, but there was absolutely no dirt on the bottom of his feet. Now, Sean's case was ruled self-inflicted by the York County Sheriff's Office. And the parents, they didn't believe that this was the case. They said that Sean would have never done this to himself, that he was not depressed, that he was happy-go-lucky, that he would never, ever consider doing something like this to himself. He wanted to grow up to be president of the United States, for God's sake. And he had a chance to do it, seeing that both of his parents were high-ranking military officers in the Air Force, right? And his mom had just got the job at the Pentagon.
He was watching his 2-year-old brother. He loved him so much he would never leave him. He was reading his book. Fayuri just checked out from library that day.
He did his homework for the
He did
next
his
day?
homework and submitted for the next day. He took out a snack that he never ate. He started to take out garbage that he never finished.
We counted about 17 things like that that were odd for Sean. So all those things had to be done by Sean on that one day in a 50-minute time frame. We lost our son, and we have these hundreds and hundreds of unanswered questions that, you know, should have already been answered by now. We want to be the voice of Sean, right? That's more important than us being listened to, is Sean being listened to. Because if he was sitting here, he would tell you the same thing. I didn't do this. I loved life.
His parents were high-ranking Air Force officers. She was going to work at the Pentagon. He was wearing his stepfather's clothes. Think about this. Now, I don't believe that the parents are involved in any foul play with this, because they have refused to accept the narrative that Sean would have done this to himself. They could not understand why a child would go and do homework that he never planned to turn in. Why he would take out the trash, do a chore that he had no reason to be held responsible for if he was going to do that. Why he would fix a snack but then never eat it. And then, the most peculiar of all, why he would go upstairs, ransack the parents' bedroom, and change into the stepfather's clothes. And then, how did he do it to himself? How did he tie the rope around the swing set in his neck with a bag over his head while his glasses are broke laying a few feet away? How did he get out to that swing set without getting dirt on the bottom of his feet? How did he do any of that if he pinned his arms to his side with a belt? So the how, the why, none of it adds up. But then the police apparently didn't do that great of a job on the investigation, because the parents did happen to find a handprint on the back glass door, and they told police about it. And the police came out to get a copy of that handprint. They got it, they left. A few weeks later, they came back to try to get more prints, because they said that the prints that they had initially got weren't good enough. But by this time, the handprint was completely cleaned away. No longer visible, no longer able to be pulled. When the parents created a Facebook page that says, "What happened to Sean?" and they're trying to get the idea out there that this was absolutely not self-inflicted, that they don't believe that for 1 minute, and they want answers to what happened to their baby boy. The police decided that they would do a press conference to try to discredit the parents and discredit the idea that this wasn't self-inflicted and defend themselves.
We believe someone saw something. There was a crew next door mowing grass in the backyard when this happened, during the same time it happened.
Sean's parents say all they want are answers and for another agency to re-examine the case.
We want to make sure that whoever did this to Sean is not going to do this to someone else.
Within the hour, the York-Poquoson Sheriff's Office posted a video on its Facebook page addressing the family's concerns.
Our investigators are recognized in the Hampton Roads area as professional, caring, competent major crimes investigators. They have investigated and solved numerous cases. We conducted a thorough, professional, and exhaustive investigation. There is nothing whatsoever to indicate that there is a killer in our community.
The police department are absolute crooks in this case. Now, I plan to do more content on this. I plan to get more into the weeds on Sean Daltrey. But I'd like to know what you guys think about it first. Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel to see more, hit that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post. Have a great day, and we'll see you later.